the midst of the flood event, we were going up by like 2 feet an hour. This event started on Thursday with a whole lot of rain coming.
About 10 o'clock that night, we get a call from the Weather Forecast Center out of Pendleton. They were seeing more rain coming into our basin that previously hadn't been forecasted or predicted to be in our area. So at that point, about 3.5 inches of rain had already fallen, and so the ground is completely saturated, and any additional rain that we would get would come off completely off the mountain, as well as bringing snow. So at this point, while there is no frozen ground, we are getting a substantial amount of rain, so it now becomes a rain on snow event in this basin. We begin diverting water into Bennington Lake so that we can provide as much flood protection to Walla Walla and the vicinity.
It just passed the 96 flood and it's still going. That was probably the real key point where I knew, yeah, this was a serious event. We were seriously getting into flood diversion. There's a lot of water coming down Mill Creek, and we're starting to divert a lot of water through town. During the middle of the day, there's folks out in the field everywhere at all the bridges, things like that, and they were still pushing a lot of water through town.
You know, now we know we have an additional amount of water coming to the project, and we need to make some adjustments from a water management side. And so ultimately, we begin to allow more water to pass through town so that we can preserve space in the reservoir, and we can balance how much water is in the reservoir versus how much more water needs to go to the reservoir that's potentially coming down the river. We have to make decisions as the water management team. We are now seeing what we know to be the record flood to come through the town, or as potentially to come at the Mill Creek project, but our reservoir is already 50% full due to water we've been diverting all day on February 6th. Friday evening, we continue to have people monitor the levees up until midnight that night. And it's at midnight that the flows have receded to 2,700 CFS. And it's as fast as that the rain came on, the event is over in close to 72 hours.
How do we respond to floods? These are really some of the same things we do on a daily basis. We just do them a lot faster in the midst of an emergency event like this. Probably for me, the biggest thing that I can do even in the midst of an event like this is making sure we got the right people, making sure they got the resources they need to get their job done, and then really staying out of their way and letting them get their job done and just supporting them. That event was done, and at the same time, we're still looking at the rest of the surrounding communities. We're starting to get the call for technical assistance. Emergency management is, keyed in. Community all around us is asking for technical assistance, and it's one of the things that we have the ability to do.
So everything on the project worked as designed. We had great response from our engineer partners at the district office. Project operations staff and maintenance were on scene, managing and reducing the risk of flood for the city. Post-flood operations are occurring, where we have constant communication, we have communication plans in place, update plans, and it's important to be able to really speak to what we're doing to the community and to the public and what we're doing here to help mitigate risk of flood damages downstream. So without the project here, we may have seen upwards of 6,000 CFS going through the city of Walla Walla, and from what I understand, that could have potentially inundated about 1/3 of the city.
Welcome everyone to our recognition of the Walla Walla District's response to the flood event in eastern Washington and Oregon from February 6th through the 8th of 2020. We traditionally present these awards in a town hall format in front of district staff, but in order to ensure the safety of everyone, we've asked our public affairs team to put together this video and bring it to you wherever you are virtually. It took teammates from every part of our district to properly respond. Well, I want to say thank you to the entire district for coming together during a challenging 48 hours in February. We especially need to recognize those whose support has been crucial with honorary awards.
So when all this flooding event started happening, I was down in Portland trying to secure some money for our navigation program. And from my understanding, the floodwaters were rising and people were saying, Paul, you need to get back right away. However, I knew my people on the ground were there. I've watched them, how they handle it, how they do it. This is the reason our project is there. It's not just a great place to be at Mill Creek, but it protects the entire community of the Walla Walla Valley. If you note, after the floods, where was the most damage? It was in places where we did not have the operating project. I was so proud to see how many good words were said about the core community across the entire district. The district came together as a whole and worked to ensure that this happened. However, the operating people on the ground are the ones that make such good things happen. So I'm very proud of what we were able to accomplish there. For all the things that you have done out there, I want to say that you're a credit to the community. And when I say the community, I'm saying the Corps of Engineers, I'm saying the operations community, and I'm also saying the community of the Walla Walla Valley and the town in which most of us live. So thank you so much for what you did.
This last year has had all kinds of different events, but the flood event here in the Walla Walla and the surrounding areas in the last year has been just a historic event. It's really been a great opportunity for the Walla Walla District team to really show what kind of experts they are. Honor those that have really given their all for the community that surrounds us and really put that expertise to work in really helping your friends and neighbors. From operations to water management, to engineering, to dam safety, levee safety, construction, everybody played a part. Contracting, monitoring, legal things, everybody was involved in this. The entire district played a part in helping this be successful. As a senior leader, I would say I am extremely proud of how people just stepped up and went right into action to do what it is that needed to be done. There's been an enormous amount of praise from the community. You guys have brought just a great amount of credit to yourselves and to the Walla Walla District here in this small town. It makes me extremely proud to be able to present these awards today.
It's important to recognize the achievements of both individuals and teams to ensure that we're taking care of people and to say thank you for a job well done. So many of our teammates answer the call to serve our community every day, and this disaster was no different. The positive impacts, however, have established a legacy of success for the community and for the district that will last for years to come. We have received accolades from numerous grateful community leaders from both Washington and Oregon, and their gratitude is a result of the efforts of the district and especially of those that we mention here today. The Chief of Engineers says the Corps of Engineers makes its money during emergencies, and for this district, he was absolutely correct. Thank you again. I could not be prouder of the Walla Walla District. You've seen a lot of names on the screen here today. Each of these individuals has contributed to the successful flood response, and they responded to the community when the community needed it most. Thank you again for ensuring this district remains relevant, responsive, and ready. Thank you for keeping people safe.